Good boy, good boy.
I used to be a Los Angeles wedding planner. Sometimes I add the tagline celebrity wedding planner because I did have the opportunity to do a lot of higher profile clientele in my years. I guess when you live in LA, you have more of an opportunity to do that if you do a good job at it, right? And I had about 10 years of wedding planning experience. So if we're gonna backtrack on that, how did I even get into it? That was 2009, 10, give or take, I don't even remember. But I was transitioning out of the acting field, big surprise. And I needed to find a creative career because that's how I'm wired, and also a career that had something to do with making a little cash, right? And without having to go to a 4-year or even a 2-year university. I was in kind of a tight spot where I had to choose a direction, you know? And I was already in LA, I couldn't afford school. Grants and loans and whatnot at that time seemed like a big hurdle for me, so I didn't even pursue it. And I found that wedding planning was a avenue that I could pursue that didn't require college experience. So, I mean, a lot of people go through the hospitality field in university, and I completely think that would be a great source. As the years went by, I did procure a lot of interns from hospitality departments in school, so that's a good path. You don't have to go the way I went, which way I think is harder, and especially now when things feel a little bit more saturated. So how I got into it is that I just Googled the best wedding planners in Los Angeles and came across some impressive looking websites for a few of them, and I wrote a few of them. And the first company that I actually wrote an email to was the first to respond, and they said, sure, meet me in this place, this time, take it or leave it. And I was like, what? I had like a bartending shift that day, and I think I even flaked and didn't go to work that day. But because I knew in my gut that this opportunity could be something. So the meeting was just to see if a potential internship would be aligned and to pick her brain as to what that field really entailed. And because I had no idea, zero experience. Actually, I don't think at that point I had ever been to a wedding. So this was just completely out of left field. I just knew I liked pretty things. I had a little bit of experience at a flower shop, and I thought, okay, this is all connected and it's also business, and I don't know. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just hoping it would pan out, and it did. So fast forward, an approval of an internship, which lasted a year, and I did intern part-time while I was juggling another job, which was bartending at a country club. I pecked at weekends and at nights. Sorry, there's a truck going through right now. When I get a mic, this will be more sorted, but I like the natural light. So fast forward all that time, I did a year of internship, and I was like, all right, now what? Like, do I get a job? What comes out of this? And her response to me, the owner of the company, was like, I didn't even think you were gonna last or finish. She says, but you did, and I will offer you an opportunity to assist me. And then I assisted her, and then over time the business was growing, and I had the opportunity to plan my own weddings. And it was a small wedding at first, smaller budget, and then just quickly, as the weeks and months went by, I kept getting bigger projects and doing them. So when someone says there are shortcuts or you don't have to do things the old school way, this is a perfect example of doing something the old school way, where I reached out to someone. I did an unpaid internship. I put a lot of hard work into it. I could have gone the school route and I didn't, but I did spend a lot of my time in giving someone my raw energy to get things done, you know? I think that's what someone would have to do if you really want to stand out, because I feel like this might be a controversial statement, but I feel like as the new generations come out, less and less people are motivated to put in blood, sweat, and tears to get things done, especially in an old school fashion like an internship where you're not getting paid. So this is an example where it does work. I'm not saying that's the best path for everyone wanting to be a wedding planner, but it was my path and it worked. Fast forward 5 years into the company, where I was planning really solid events with her and as my own entity under the company name. She just offered me the company to buy. I think she wanted out. She said one day we were in a car driving to a rehearsal, I think, and she was like, "What would you say if I wanted to offer you the company to buy?" Excuse me? I had no idea what that even meant, and I told her that. I said, "I don't know how you would do that, but let's figure it out." And we did. And in a 2-year period, I paid her the value of the company. That took a lot of work to put off. I didn't get any loans. I didn't have the cash up front. I just gave her a percentage of all my bookings, and I had to get another job while doing that during that 2 years. So I was working double duty, working the weddings, giving her a cut, and also working side gigs, getting cash to just supplement the lack of giving her my income, right? So it was madness, and you need to have a lot of energy. You need to have a lot of determination, but I reached the finish line and I did pay it off, and it was great. And I had my company for 5 additional years, growing it, figuring it out, and then I did celebrity weddings. I digress, right? I told you the whole journey, but I didn't tell you that I had the opportunity to get celebrity weddings, and it was really cool because so many of the high-profile names that we ended up booking, we were like, "How did you find us? How'd you find me?" Yelp, Google, like just the internet. And mind you, I think the internet is probably very oversaturated now, so I don't know if this would work the same way as it did back then. This was the 2017 era, right around then. We just got cool bookings, and when you meet someone, you meet them in person and you have to jive, and then they just book you. And then somehow PR gets involved, and before you know it, you're getting credits in like People magazine and Us Weekly magazine and in all these cool publications. And you have to keep things hush hush, not mention names, you know, like, "Oh, this celebrity got divorced, now you can't really use their pictures, or can you? Oh, that's weird." Or what celebrity is going to show up, but then certain vendors want to get involved. That's a whole nother conversation we could talk about if you're actually interested in the behind the scenes of what the wedding planning world looks like, especially in the luxury field, especially in the celebrity field. If that's something you want to hear, write that in the comments, and I can make that a whole like story time channel, right? There's a lot, that could be a bunch of episodes. I could tell you one story per YouTube video, and it's crazy stuff happens. And if you're a wedding planner, if you're in this industry, you know how insane it gets. But anyways, let me pause this to see if the video is even rolling. So in closing, I was a wedding planner in Los Angeles, did it for 10 years, had the opportunity to meet some amazing people from amazing backgrounds, celebrities, sports, athletes, people, political figures, and then the guests that come to those weddings are mind-blowing. You have all these secret names for these weddings for the guests, right? And people come in with different names and you're like, oh shoot, that's my teen heartthrob from the 90s or 2000, you know. So you see all these people and it's really exciting. And if you live for that kind of stuff like I do, it's life affirming, right? You feel like, oh, I'm doing a good enough job that these people are celebrating and having a good time with my orchestration, right? Because wedding planning is a beast of a job. But I'm out. I'm no longer a wedding planner, and the short version as to why I'm no longer a wedding planner is because I got burnt out. Burnout is real. Mental health issues is a real issue, and you can go down a dark hole where you're unhappy, you're stressed out, you're fatigued, your sympathetic nervous system is out of whack, you're not eating right, you're not sleeping, you have anxiety related to work, you're not, actually, you can be calloused by the end of a career that's burning you out. Like, things would go up in flames in work towards the end, and I'd be like, okay. Like, it didn't even faze me because I was just so done. Adrenal fatigue? I don't know. But when you know you're done, you know you're done. And I was done after a 10-year chapter of doing 300 plus weddings, definitely. And internationally as well. So when you know you're done, you're done. So if you're in a career that in your gut you know you're done, listen to that feeling, because there's no point. Life is too short and you need to move on. But if you want to know more about the wedding planning chapter, that 10-year window that I had the honor to do, I'm not complaining that I did that wedding planning journey career. Actually, I loved it. I loved it more than I hated it. But if you're more interested in hearing those stories, let me know in the comments below. I would be happy to make a whole channel series off of that topic alone. But where I'm at now is Nita Vida, my own brand, where it's just me talking about flowers, talking about home and garden, and like I like to call it, Martha Stewarding my way through this new season of life with my kiddos who are about to wake up from their nap. So that's it for now. If you have anything you want to ask, if there are things you loved and hated about the video, just put it in the comments below. I'm very, very open to feedback. Being in the industry, being a wedding planner in LA for celebrities with lots of success and lots of failure makes you so calloused. So challenge me, baby. Talk to you later. Bye.